Hello there. Welcome to Jackson English Stories. You're learning English. That's great. Today, let's learn English through a short, emotional story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of my life. My name is Lucas. I am Lucas, a person from France. I want to share with you a memory from my life when I was 16 years old. On the morning of October 10th, 2008, Hanoi was entering the late autumn season. In a high school classroom, an unexpected event took place. A girl with golden blonde hair and deep blue eyes stepped into the new class in Hanoi, a place completely unfamiliar to her. Emma, a 15-year-old girl from Germany, had just arrived. By chance, she was assigned to sit next to me, someone who had also recently moved to Vietnam with my family. At first, we exchanged only a few polite words, but over time, our shared experience of being far from home brought us closer. In the afternoons after school, Emma and I would often take strolls along the West Lake, watching the shimmering water under the sunset, and sharing little stories about life, our homelands, and the new things we had come to love about Vietnam. Amidst the peaceful setting, a friendship and the innocent emotions of youth gradually blossomed, as gentle as the breeze by the lake. Our walks became an unplanned habit. I often brought along a few small French baguettes that my mother made, while Emma usually carried some tangerines she had bought from the market near her house. We both enjoyed sitting on a bench by the lake, eating and chatting. Emma would talk about the vast pine forests in Germany, where she used to take weekend walks with her family. In return, I shared stories of summer afternoons playing football in the vineyards of France. One afternoon, Emma suddenly hesitated before asking, "Lucas, if one day we have to return to our homelands, do you think things will change?" She looked down at the lake, where small ripples shimmered under the sunlight. She smiled, but her eyes sparkled as if they were hiding something. "Maybe things will change, but the memories will stay here. We'll remember afternoons like this, won't we?" I remained silent, simply looking at Emma for a long time. I knew that no matter what the future held, these moments would always be an unforgettable part of both our lives. And that evening, Westlake seemed to witness something truly special, a pure, gentle connection, enough to warm their hearts on lonely days far from home. Time continued to pass, and our afternoon walks by Westlake gradually became a little secret known only to Emma and me. Even though we had different groups of friends in class, we always found in each other a sense of understanding that no one else could share. I started learning Vietnamese faster so I could order food for both of us whenever we went out for snacks. Meanwhile, Emma practiced using chopsticks clumsily at first, but her determination made Lucas burst into laughter every time. One rainy afternoon, Hanoi seemed to drape itself in a melancholy veil, despite the pouring rain. I still rode my bike to Emma's house, carrying a large umbrella. I stood under the porch, drenched from head to toe, but my face remained lit with a bright smile. "Not even the rain can stop me from taking you for a walk, Emma," I shouted toward the house. Emma burst into laughter and quickly grabbed a raincoat from inside. We walked together in the rain, paying no attention to the curious glances around us. Westlake was unusually quiet that day. Only the soft patter of raindrops and the sound of our carefree laughter filled the air. Suddenly, Emma stopped walking and looked at me with her rain-drenched, deep blue eyes. "You know, Lucas, Here I feel like I have another family. Thanks to you, I don't feel alone anymore. I smiled and tilted the umbrella to shield Emma more. Me too, Emma. You've made Hanoi the most special place I've ever lived. One late winter day, while everyone was busy preparing for the Lunar New Year, I received the news that Emma's family would be returning to Germany after the winter break. The news hit me like a cold gust of wind sweeping through my mind. Even though I tried to stay composed, I couldn't hide my sadness. Emma wasn't doing any better. I sat quietly in class, lost in thought. My teacher's words faded into the background, leaving only the image of Emma, her radiant smile, her pure laughter, and the warmth in her eyes that always showed so much care. I smiled and tilted the umbrella, shielding Emma a little more. Me too, Emma. You've made Hanoi the most special place I've ever known. One late winter day, as the city buzzed with preparations for the Lunar New Year, I received the news Emma's family would be returning to Germany after the winter break. The word struck me like a sharp gust of winter wind, cutting through my thoughts. I tried to stay composed, but the sadness was impossible to hide. Emma wasn't faring any better. I sat in class, staring blankly ahead. My teacher's words dissolved into nothingness, leaving only Emma in my mind, her radiant smile, her crystal-clear laughter, and the warmth in her eyes that always held so much kindness. I've written down everything I want to remember about Hanoi, about you, and about all the beautiful moments we've shared. I opened the notebook. Each page was filled with Emma's handwriting, small sketches of the cafes we had visited, and notes about the Vietnamese dishes we had come to love. My eyes grew misty as I reached the final page. Lucas, I don't know what to call this feeling, but you are the most beautiful thing I've ever had in Hanoi. I clutched the small notebook tightly, my heart overflowing with emotion. Emma's words felt like a gentle melody playing in my mind, bringing back every precious moment we had spent together. I knew then I couldn't let Emma leave without telling her what I had kept in my heart for so long. Taking a deep breath, I reached into my pocket and pulled out a small wooden box, intricately carved. Handing it to Emma, I looked at her with sincere eyes. Emma, this is my gift for you. Emma gently opened the box. Inside was a silver necklace with a small maple leaf pendant, symbolizing autumn, the season when we first met. She raised a hand to her mouth, her eyes shining with surprise and emotion. Lucas, it's beautiful. I smiled and continued. I found it in a little handicraft shop in the old quarter. I want you to always remember Hanoi, our afternoons by West Lake, and me. Emma gazed at me for a long moment before suddenly stepping forward and wrapping her arms around me in a tight embrace. I could feel her heart beat fast, just like mine. Thank you, Lucas. I will always treasure it. I took a deep breath, then gently pulled Emma away just enough to look into her deep blue eyes. Emma, I can't let you leave without saying this. I like you. Not just as a friend, but more than that. You are the most special thing I've ever had in Hanoi, and I don't want to lose you. Emma looked at me, her eyes glistening as if on the verge of tears. She smiled softly and nodded. Lucas, I feel the same. I was afraid to say it, afraid that we would be separated, but I truly cherish you. And this feeling. A gentle breeze passed by, carrying the familiar scent of Hanoi's autumn. I took Emma's hand and squeezed it lightly. Don't worry. This isn't the end, it's just the beginning. I promise. I'll come to Germany. No matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it is, I will find a way to see you again. Emma fell silent for a few seconds, then smiled a bright yet wistful smile. "I'll wait for you, Lucas, I promise." We stood there by West Lake as the sun slowly set behind the distant rows of buildings. I knew that no matter what tomorrow would bring, no matter how far apart we would be, this feeling would forever remain an irreplaceable part of our hearts. In the days after Emma left, I felt an overwhelming emptiness. No more afternoon walks by Westlake, no more of Emma's carefree laughter ringing in my ears. But I knew that if I truly wanted to see her again, I had to put in the effort. I started learning German. At first, every word felt foreign and difficult to remember. But whenever I felt discouraged, I thought of Emma, of our promise. I wrote down simple phrases, practiced speaking in front of the mirror, and listened to German songs to get used to the rhythm of the language. Day by day, I made small but steady progress. At the same time, I worked on improving my English so I could communicate more easily if I ever set foot in Germany. I learned about German culture, about the vast pine forests Emma had once described, about the historic streets of Berlin, and the festivals she loved. I wanted to truly understand Emma when we met again. I wanted to be able to step into her world, to belong in the place she called home. Each passing day, I didn't just study German, I also researched schools and exchange programs that could bring me closer to Emma. I didn't know when I would be able to make it happen, but I never forgot my promise. I believed that no matter how far apart two people were, if they truly mattered to each other, they would find a way to meet again. And day by day, I was turning that belief into reality. My relentless efforts finally paid off. After years of hard work, I was accepted into Hanoi Medical University, one of my biggest dreams. The journey was anything but easy, but my faith in the future, in Emma, gave me strength. Through perseverance and determination, I earned a scholarship to study in Germany. When I received the news, my heart pounded harder than ever. This was my chance to fulfill the promise I had made years ago. I left Vietnam, carrying with me all the memories, the beautiful moments by West Lake, and the deep feelings I had for Emma. A new life in Germany began, filled with challenges but also brimming with hope. I spent 6 years studying there, working tirelessly to become a skilled doctor. But more than anything, I knew that this was also the place where I would see Emma again, the person I had never stopped thinking about. After completing my studies, I decided to go to Berlin, a city Emma had mentioned many times. Excitement and nervousness swelled within me as I stepped into the city. The historic streets, the small cafes tucked along the roads, they all reminded me of Hanoi, of our afternoon walks by West Lake. I started searching for her. I visited the places she had talked about, wandered through the Christmas markets she loved, walked along the Spree River, silently hoping that fate would lead us to each other once more. Then, one day, while working at the hospital where I was doing my internship, I came across a familiar name on the list of patients for a general checkup. Emma Miller. My heart skipped a beat. I hurried to the examination room, and the moment the door opened, Emma turned around. Her deep blue eyes widened in surprise, and in that instant, time seemed to stand still. After 8 years apart, we stood before each other once again. Emma smiled softly, as if no time or distance had ever come between us. I smiled back, knowing that at last, the promise we made years ago had come true. After years of studying and working in Germany, Emma and I not only found each other again, but also built a new life together. We were married in a warm and intimate ceremony in Berlin, surrounded by our closest family and friends. Now we have a small, happy family with a bright-eyed little boy. Life in Berlin is busy, yet always filled with joy. On weekends, we stroll through the old streets, cherishing peaceful moments, and sometimes reminiscing about the beautiful memories of Hanoi, the place where it all began. No matter how many years have passed, our love and the memories we share remain unchanged. We know that no matter where we are in the world, our hearts will always be connected, just like the promise we made long ago, beneath the golden sunset of Westlake. Not only did I study German, but I also dedicated time to improving my English, a crucial skill that would help me adapt more easily to an international environment. I realized that to make my learning effective, I needed a clear plan. I started by setting small daily goals, learning new vocabulary, practicing listening through stories, and engaging in conversations with friends. I took online classes, read books in English, and constantly sought opportunities to use the language in my daily life. Over time, learning became a natural part of my routine, boosting my confidence in communication and opening up many opportunities in both my career and personal life. I understood that, like any journey, success in language learning requires persistence, discipline, and a well-structured plan.